Video games have been around for a near 40 years now, starting back in the early 70s with games like Pong and later Space Invaders. However, as time has gone by, games have evolved, and so have the concepts that drive them. Graphics have improved beyond belief, and at this current time, it is clear that they're only going to get more photorealistic. Now, with all this in mind, one thing that has always plagued video games, particularly violent ones, is that they're always associated with violent behaviour. Politicians, for example, favour linking violent activities in violent video games. Now, it is true that any game can cause outbursts of anger at the time of play. I don't get frustrated with a game and then carry around that anger with me for the rest of the day. Studies have been carried out to try and prove that violent games cause prolonged violent outbursts. One half of these studies are funded by people who want results and therefore get them. The other half aren't and give clearer evidence. I'm not going to tell you about every result, so I'll give you a breakdown. The majority say that games cause anger, in some, but don't have any prolonged effect. The reason I'm talking about video game violence is to really let you know that there's nothing to fear. Reason number 1. Imagine the game as a giant punching bag. It's a great way of relieving stress. Reason number 2. Certain games can improve response times and even reflexes. Reason number 3. It makes information more memorable and translates skills into the real world for use. Now, I know what you're going to say. If someone can learn how to shoot a gun in a game, and they can do it in real life too. Well, I suppose I can't really argue with that. Guns are in games, and that's a thing. Just like cars, people, and physics. Just because guns are in games doesn't mean you're going to shoot people. However, people who have interest in shooting people will probably also play these games. It doesn't really mean that the games themselves cause them to shoot people, it just means that they're mad and also play these games. So since the recent shooting in America, people started blaming games again, just like every other shooting of the past 20 years or so. For example, the cause of the Columbine massacre was blamed on TV shows, music and games. For the Sandy Hook shooting, however, games have been favoured instead of Marilyn Manson. Which brings me to my last point. In 2011, there were roughly 130,000 gun shops and only roughly 14,000 McDonald's restaurants in America. That's a lot of guns, and guns are bad. They're designed to quickly dispatch multiple aggressors with relative ease, with little to no training. Why is it you have a country where people can freely buy weapons of this power? Then when a person uses these weapons, you blame games. Now I get that in order for a person to reach the point where they commit their crime, they have to have a catalyst. However, these kinds of people will commit a crime like this eventually regardless. Giving them the tools in which to do it faster and on a wider scale, well, it's completely insane. People who feel they need to kill don't do so because of games. They do it because somewhere in their life something has traumatized them, affected them in some way, not because Call of Duty told them to do it.